wanted to talk to you all about what I'm seeing from preseason so far with the Detroit Pistons. Want to dive into that in this video. If you enjoy it, smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I'm always excited for an opportunity to come before y'all and talk my shit about the Detroit Pistons. Um, this is going to be a fun year, y'all. It's going to be a fun year. I hope y'all ready to buckle up and take the ride. This is the first year that I believe Cade Cunningham will be in the MVP conversation. The first of many, I believe. And I also believe, from what I'm seeing in preseason, these Pistons are going to look a lot like they did last year. A lot like they did last year. And when I say like they did last year, I mean early on, they were very Cade heliocentric, highly Cade heliocentric. Uh, this was a roster that leaned heavily on the veterans: Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, um, Tobias Harris. Those are the guys who did the heavy lifting around Cade. And I don't think it's going to be any different this year. I think that we would like to believe that Asar Thompson, I would love to believe that Asar Thompson is ready to ascend. Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, right? Like we saw all the glimpses by the end of last season. We saw all the moments that made us excited. And we could see how an offseason of progression and development, they could potentially have come in ready to go, ready to rock. But what we are seeing from preseason is they're not quite there yet. Usually in preseason, that's when you are experimenting, right? You may have a few minutes with your starting five, but then you have your experimentation, right? The lineups that you're not quite sure how it's going to look. And then you kind of tinker with it, explore it. Right now, what I'm seeing is one, Jalen Duren hasn't played yet. I wouldn't be shocked if he starts the season on the injured reserve. I would not be shocked. Because what I would have expected, if they were expecting Jalen Duren back soon, meaning throughout the preseason, I would have expected that they would have played Paul Reed as a starting center, maintain Isaiah Stewart as the main center coming off the bench, maybe coming in sooner, but maintaining that bench rotation instead of acclimating Isaiah Stewart to the starting rotation. That's the first part. Who knows? I could be wrong. But that is what I would have been expecting. The second thing, neither Jaden Ivey or Asar Thompson looked all that, I don't want to say comfortable. I would say ready. Ready. Neither looked ready. Right? You saw Duncan Robinson in the first game. He lit it up from three. He did what he does. You see Tobias Harris steamrolled right through the competition in the game one of preseason. He looked ready. Karis LeVert looked ready. Asar Thompson looked like he was still figuring it out. Looked like he was still trying to get his rhythm, his timing in this new role. Jaden Ivey, similarly, looked like he was still trying to get his timing in his new role. And what that tells me is that neither is necessarily ready to be relied upon contributors. So the whole talk about being the number two, the whole conversation around Asar Thompson and Ron Holland, I think what we see this season is a lot of what we saw last season. A lot of what we saw last season. Cade and the crew of veterans, sprinkled in with Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, and Jalen Duren, Ron Holland, doing their thing. Doing their thing. Playing not sporadically, consistently, but at the same time, they're going to be players who are, how would you put it? Individuals whose big games are not factored in. Meaning when they score over 20 points, when Asar gets double-digit points, maybe double-digit rebounds, when they have these big games, that isn't going to be what they anticipated at the beginning when they game planned. They're going to allow Asar Thompson and Jaden Ivey to take their time. Jalen Duren to take their time to develop slowly, figure it out. And I think that they do. I think by the time December comes around, late November, I think we see both Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, definitely Jalen Duren, maybe Ron Holland find their rhythm. And we begin to see more consistent play from the both of them, or from all four of them, really. And I think that that's going to be really exciting to see. Now, what's interesting is the play of Bobby Clintman. The play of Bobby Clintman. There was something that I saw during Summer League that I said to myself, is he just not that? Meaning, like, is he just not a guy who can go out there and get his own versus being someone who just fits extremely well? And I saw that and I asked that question because there were times where I wanted more from Bobby Clintman, especially in Summer League. I wanted more. I wanted to see him dominate. I wanted to see him do his thing. But what I was seeing was he just fits. And I believe that I'm realizing is he's one of those guys who does extremely well in a system playing with veterans. Guys who move the ball around, find the open man, can look for him as a shooter, and he does his thing on the boards, getting out in transition, off ball movement. And he just fits. And I'm starting to get excited about his potential. I said in the last video, I would love to see Jaden Ivey start, Cade Cunningham rest, and then you have Duncan Robinson, Bobby Clintman, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, unless Jalen Duren's healthy and ready to go. That's what I would want to see. I want to see what Bobby Clintman looks like in this starting lineup. Because if he goes out there and he can continue to effectively spread the floor, rebound, defend at a decent enough clip, run the floor, off ball movement, he might be someone that we have to start looking at differently. And when I say looking at differently, he reminds me a lot of Cam Johnson. You know, play for the Phoenix Suns on their run to the NBA Finals, where they lost to the Bucks, Brooklyn Nets, now the Denver Nuggets. A guy who has a really high skill set, knows who they are as a player, and just plays the game. Is a basketball player, but plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's not selfish. He's not trying to do anything outside of himself. But he plays his game so well. He just fits. He makes your lineups better. And even though he's a bit younger than Cam Johnson was when he came to the NBA, right? Cam Johnson stayed, I believe, I want to say all 4 years at North Carolina. But Bobby Clintman also has an international play background, which bodes well for his learning curve. And you see just his style of play seems to be very well adapted to playing around stars. That's a real skill. Like, there's a lot of guys who could play, but there's a lot of guys who have been the star at every level. They've been the guy at every level. And it's really hard for them to acclimate their game to not being the guy anymore. Now, all of a sudden, they have to figure it out. They have to reorient themselves internally. How do I play around that guy or those guys? I don't think Bobby Clintman is going to struggle with that at all. I think Bobby Clintman is going to be probably fit like a glove. Oh, Cade is driving? Okay, I relocate to the corner. Cade's on the opposite wing, backdoor cut. I see a deflection, get out on the wings in transition. Right? Rebounds, flying in for him. 6'10", good athleticism, smooth athlete. I think Bobby Clement is going to be a contributor this year. I think he is. I think he is. Um, I still love Marcus Sasser. And I throw that out there to say Bobby Clement is going to take somebody's minutes. I don't know who. Paul Reed looks like he's solidified. He's solidified. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, solidified. But it's that role between Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser that we're going to have to look at. I like Sasser a lot. I need a dominant game from him in preseason. I need a dominant game. Because the thing is, he pulls off the moves. He pulls off the moves. He gets the separation, which is not easy in the NBA. To get separation in the NBA is absolutely elite. Elite, not just getting a shot off, but to create your shot and get 4 to 5 feet of separation. That's what Luka does. That's what SGA does. That's what Cade can do. That's what the best players in the league do regularly. They can create for themselves, get separation, and get clean, open looks. I think there's a breakthrough moment for Marcus Sasser. I don't know if it's going to come in preseason or early in the season. There's going to come a certain point where he just accepts I'm a bucket, like Lou Williams, right? I know I can always get my shots. And I'm going to make sure that I'm hitting my shots at a high clip. Because this is the difference. If Marcus Sasser is knocking down these shots throughout the first couple of preseason games that he's getting great separation on, I think we begin to see him differently. But because he's missed a few of them, it's easy to overlook. But with Bobby Clement coming along and what he could potentially be at 6'10 as a shooter, as a movement shooter, which is extremely valuable. And shout out to now playing alongside Duncan Robinson, who he's going to have an opportunity to learn a lot from. That value is going to then bump down the roles of other players, not the veterans, not Isaiah Stewart, Paul Reed, Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert. It's either going to be Ron Holland or Marcus Sasser. And Ron Holland is 6'8", wing, who can defend. Marcus Sasser is 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", guard, who can defend. They're going to have to work that out. But it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. But my anticipation for next season is going to be, it's going to be Cade heliocentric again. I do think that having Asar and Ivy in the starting lineup, they are going to take a lot of ball handling responsibilities off of Cade. I think a lot. I think somewhere around 40%. I can see Asar bringing it up regularly. Jaden Ivey, regularly. Cade will also bring it up. But I think they're going to take that off of his hands and allow him to be a scorer. An absolute scorer. He's going to be the guy who's going to get us 30 points a game. I would not be shocked at all if he's averaging 32, 6 and 6. 32, 7 and 6. Right? On good efficiency. Because I told you guys, once you take him off the ball, his 3-point shooting skyrockets. Because of the quality of 3-point shots he's going to get. Playing off of Asar, off of Ivy, he's going to get far higher quality shots. So it's going to be interesting how this season plays out. But from the first couple of preseason games, that's how I see it. Straight up. It's going to be a heliocentric Cade offense built around him. It's going to be heavily dependent upon Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, Isaiah Stewart. A lot of veteran magic. A lot of guys doing the right things in the right moments. And Cade taking us home. Ivy, Asar, Duran, they're going to have spurts early on. It's going to be spurts. It's not going to be reliable. I can't. I could see Ivy averaging like 12 points a game at the beginning of the season. Like literally. Maybe 10 to 14 points per game on decent efficiency, right? Asar Thompson, I can see him averaging 8 to 12 points per game at the beginning of the season in November. But by December, you're going to see a tick up, right? No injuries, God willing. We all know injuries happen, but it's going to tick up in December. It's going to tick up in January. And then after the All-Star break, that is when I'm anticipating the bubble to burst. That's when I'm anticipating Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson absolutely exploding. After they've gotten their legs under them, after they got their feet wet, you know all the sayings. After they got themselves going, had a chance to take a break, maybe fine tune a couple things over the All-Star break. Who knows? Maybe, yeah, no, that's probably it. That's probably what we're gonna see. After the All-Star break, they're going to explode. We saw last season, Jaden Ivey was able to have a really strong December. And then he got hurt in January. I would not be shocked if by after the All-Star break, Jaden Ivey isn't averaging 20 points a game, if not more. Jalen Duren isn't putting up 16, 12 type of games, 18, 11 type of games. Asar Thompson consistently getting you 12, 8, 3 or 4 assists with 4 stocks. And his free throws are dropping. Right? Like, that's what I anticipate by the end of the season. So hopefully, as the season progresses and they become more consistent, we'll be leaning on them less. We'll be leaning on Cade less and less and less. But fully, I expect. I mean, if you're in a fantasy league, if you're in an NBA fantasy league, you should have Cade. You should 100% have Cade Cunningham. 100%. Because Cade Cunningham is going to explode. He is going to be an MVP candidate. He's going to be averaging close to 30, if not, I wouldn't be shocked, 32, 7, and 6. Getting to the free throw line regularly. Finally getting the respect of the refs. Even though in preseason, they was doing them dirty. Which is another reason why I would sit him for the rest of the preseason, because I don't want him hitting the floor that many times in preseason. Bro, we're going to need you for the marathon of the regular season and the playoffs, multiple rounds. Right? That's the outlook. We don't need you hitting the floor now. We need it to look easy. We see you do what you do, 20-something points in 20-something minutes. Bet. You're good. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson. See you get your feet wet some more too. Just to get acclimated to the rest of the guys. Get into your rhythm. Tobias Harris, get into your rhythm. And then sit them. Let's see the rest of these guys. Let's see Tolu Smith. I want more Marcus Sasser. I want a lot more Bobby Clement, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson, Jaden Ivey. Right? I'm not quite sure what the reason was for sitting Jaden Ivey in the last game. I'm going to pull it up real quick just in case. In case there was a real reason. There's some muscle soreness or something like that. Jaden Ivey. See, news. Jaden Ivey not starting Thursday. Let's say. Okay. So it doesn't seem like there's like there was a reason. So if there was no reason, I fully expect Jaden Ivey to start the next couple of preseason games. Um, I think there should be some more preseason games, right? Not just 2. They just don't do 2. Uh, Detroit Pistons schedule. Yeah, so they got a couple more games against the Cavs, against the Wizards, against the Bulls. Okay. All right. So they got a couple more games at least before the preseason starts. Um, yeah, I want to see Jaden Ivey, Sarah Thompson, Bobby Clement, Ron Holland, Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert. Uh, maybe not a lot of Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart plays really hard. I don't necessarily need to see more from him in the starting lineup. You can see Paul Reed, Tolu Smith. Um, maybe run some lineups with Bobby Clement at center. See if you could spread it out. Do Ron Holland, Asar Thompson at the forward positions. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson um, at the off guard, starting with Jaden Ivey. Right, like let's start playing with the lineups. Let's start playing with it. But as always, it's your man 100 grand Ross for The Rock Never Stops. Video isn't too long. I fully expect Cade Cunningham to do all the heavy lifting at the beginning of this season. I'm looking forward to Jaden Ivey, Sarah Thompson, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland getting themselves going as the season goes on. Don't expect to see it from the jump because we haven't seen it in preseason yet. So unless it happens in the next couple of games, I'd be real skeptical about expecting that in the regular season, at least at the start. And Jalen Duren, I know they said was sore hamstring. Hamstrings are nothing to scoff at. It's something that can linger for a long time. Yeah, it's something that can linger, something that can stick around, and you definitely do not want that. You do not want that. Um, yeah, hamstring tightness, sit them until that hamstring is 100%. But as always, like I said, smash the like button for me. It's a little thing, but it's a big thing for the channel. Appreciate everybody's love and support. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what topics you want me to do next. There's a few other teams that I'm still taking a close look at that I'm like, man, we can't take for granted. We cannot take for granted. Some of these teams, man, some of these teams are really good. Are really good. I think Portland is another one of them. May seem like, oh, it's on the other side. Portland, man, it's looking nice. Uh, the Pacers, I want to see them a couple more times. The Orlando Magic, didn't exactly look amazing. Starting Tyus Jones, no Jalen Suggs. The Knicks look strong. They look strong. Uh, Boston. I got to take a second look at Boston because what I saw with Jalen Brown, he's going to do his thing. Then when I saw, at least in the stat line, with Anthony Simons and Peyton Pritchard, I was like, oh, they're going to do their thing. I really like Josh Minot. I thought he played really well. Jordan Walsh. They've got some athletes. They've got some guys that are going to hoop, that are going to play hard. And a lot of it is health dependent, right? Because injuries happen. A lot of it is health dependent. But if Boston is healthy, I don't expect them to lay down at all. At all. And we already seen what Milwaukee has in the bag. We already seen, right? We're already seeing Cleveland. We're already seeing these other teams. Miami. Um, what's his name? Yakus. Ooh. See, Miami Heat. What's the rookie's name? Yaka Kasparis Yakashionis. Yo, he's looking good. He's looking good. Like he can run the show. If they get solid point guard play out of him, and they can put Norman Powell at the 2, who I actually like more than Tyler Hero. And then they got Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, um, Nikola Jovic, Khalil Ware coming off the bench, Jaime Jaquez coming off the bench, Terry Rozier, still got Davion Mitchell, Simone Fontecchio, Precious Achua, great pickup. Great pickup. They've got some players. They have got some players on that team. I think Miami's gonna be right there. That might be my next video. Don't take Miami for granted. Don't look past Miami. They look like a team that's locked in. Bam Adebayo had an off year last year. I think playing alongside of Jovic is going to really help out his game. It's going to open things up. They're going to be able to play 5 out. I think that's going to help Kasparis or Davion Mitchell running that point. Eventually, they're going to get Tyler Hero back, Norman Powell. This is going to be a nice squad. It's going to be a nice squad. But as always, I want to know what you all think. Holler at me in the comment section. Who do you think has looked really good this preseason that the Detroit Pistons should not overlook? Should not overlook. All right, I'm gonna get at y'all next time. Y'all have an amazing day. Get outside, get some sun, get that vitamin D. Take care of yourself, because if you don't, who else will? I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.